Have you ever imagined what life was like before air conditioning? Probably a lot hotter. But how exactly did people survive the scorching heat back then? Well, they were pretty smart about it. They just used what they had around them and came up with some pretty cool ways to beat the heat. First off, let's take a look at their homes.
Ho, ho, ho!
The houses might look different, but they were designed to keep cool air in and the hot air out. See, old houses had thick walls made of mud or stone, which acted like a barrier between the inside and outside temperatures. And instead of big windows that let the hot sun come in, they had small windows to keep the interior cool.
Ho, ho, ho!
Plus, the ceilings were really high so that the hot air could rise up and escape, leaving the people below in the cool air. Some houses even had open courtyards in the middle with a fountain or a pond in the center. And guess what? That became a natural way to keep the house cool. As the water evaporated from the fountain or pond, it created a natural air conditioning effect. Pretty smart, right?
Ho, ho, ho!
And how did they cool themselves? Well, they used a technique called evaporative cooling. They'd sprinkle water on the floors or hang wet cloths on the window to catch the breeze. As the air passed through the wet material, it would cool down just like today's air conditioners. But of course, their method was a bit more natural.
Ho, ho, ho!
Some people would wet their clothes and sit in the shade of a tree to enjoy the cool breeze. Talk about a cheap air conditioner. But that's not all. They also invented things like wind towers. These tall structures were built on rooftops to catch the wind and push it into the house. It's like having a built-in fan on your roof. How cool is that?
Ho, ho, ho!
They also used clay water jars called Zeers to keep water cool. Even without a fridge, the Zero would keep the water cool for hours because of the same evaporation technique we talked about earlier. So you might be thinking, what did they do at night when it got really hot?
Ho, ho, ho!
Well, many people preferred to sleep on rooftops. It might sound a bit strange, but the breeze at night is usually cooler than the air near the ground. Plus, sleeping under the stars is pretty cool. If you ask me, in a nutshell, people in the past didn't need air conditioning to stay cool. They had some pretty smart tricks up their sleeves.
Ho, ho, ho!
They used what they had around them and came up with some innovative ways to beat the heat. So next time you feel too hot, remember, sometimes the coolest solution is the simplest one.
Ho, ho, ho!